Welcome to another episode of Attack Opportunity. This is Jose, and with me as usual, Andrew. You're supposed to say your name.
When? You never tell me. We don't go over this ahead of time.
When I pause, you say your name. Okay. With me, Andrew, as always.
Hi.
Nobody else wants to talk to me. So there's that.
With literally the only other person besides Kristen that would talk to me.
And today we're talking about the big bad evil.
Yeah,
guy.
the BBEGs.
Roll the music.
The big, beautiful... oh, no, that's a different episode. That's for our Patreon exclusive.
That is Patreon exclusive. Our only fan.
A talk of opportunity. Nights. When things get a bit racy.
All
right, so
before we get started about the big bad evil guy, that is you, we're going to talk about the best thing in this world. And that is
beer?
Cerveza.
Ooh.
Yes.
Big bad
today?
evil brew. I don't have anything special today. I just got a Blue Moon. Just, good old fashioned. It ain't broke, don't fix it. However,
I hear you.
I know for a fact you got some Rudy Poo beers. So,
oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, I went to Total Wine. I'm like, I want one of all these. But today though, because I've been getting a lot into sours. Mm-hmm. How do you pronounce you pronounce it goose or
I think it's just I think it's Goza.
Goza?
I think I could be wrong. Either that or it's just Goza.
That one, the Hibiscus one that I had, even Chris.
There's one. There's another version of Goze beer where it's like pronounced like Gehrzg. Yeah, that's
all right. Stop trying. Today, however, I'm drinking a Orpheus Brewing Wandering Blues Blueberry Sour Ale.
There is a pronunciation guide in this Beer Geek Handbook.
Dude, it's on my list.
Yeah,
it's on my list.
But there's a pronunciation guide in the back for how to pronounce stuff. And yeah, it is Goza. So,
because Chris is like, why don't you get a goose? I'm like,
a goose.
Like a goose. Oh, that's a nice color. Look at that. It's like a reddish.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Pinkish.
It kind of looks like grapefruit juice. A little bit. Like less cloudy.
Yeah. I don't know what this can is all about, but I love it. It has like this like psychedelic black and white line work with a bunch of like lady faces.
It kind of looks like the Revolver art.
That's what I was thinking too. But I don't think it's not. Let me see. Does it have like an artist mention? Because usually they do. Wandering Blues or Blueberry Sour pays homage to Orpheus' departed love, an epic journey following his laws. It's fermented with fresh blueberries juiced from us by Arden's garden, resulting in a delightful balance of depth and brightness. And then in the big bold letters it says, "Don't look back."
I told you not to look back.
Ooh. Oh. Okay, yes. Sours are my thing now, man.
Oh yeah.
I went from engine oil, porters, chocolate, like that crazy super thick beers.
Oh yeah, the ones that like are just a meal in of themselves.
Yeah, it's a milkshake in a can. To like fucking bright, sour, watery, delicious.
It all depends on the weather because it's hot out, so now would be a really good time for like a sour or or an IPA or something like that. But when it gets colder, that's when I'll break out the old Rasputin and stuff like that.
So, yeah.
Oh
yeah,
man, that's a good fucking stout. It kicked my ass, but I can't wait to drink it again.
I got an Imperial IPA because I saw it and I'm like, man, I know that this is like the ultimate IPA. And I'm barely like into IPAs, but fuck it. I'm just going to dive in.
The ultimate, the actual like holy grail of IPAs is one called Pliny the Younger or Pliny the Younger, named after the philosopher. And they brew it once a year or something like that. Like once every couple of years, maybe. And it's only available at Russian River Brewing in California. You can only get it from the brewery on tap. There's no cans, no bottles, no nothing. And it is not a double IPA. It is a triple IPA. And it's something that's like only like 100 something people get because they brew like one batch and then that's it. It's done.
What?
Yeah.
I'm getting there. I'm appreciating IPAs a lot more now. Like I legit the other day was like, I want an IPA.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought I would say that out loud.
I was thinking about an IPA, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to be buzzed for most of like. That's the only problem with IPAs is the alcohol content. You know that's why I actually really dig like session IPAs because it's got the taste, but not the like 19% alcohol content. So
hold on, I have to. I've been trying to be more active on Instagram.
Okay.
For a talk opportunity.
Right.
So I'm gonna get a picture of this.
The brew of the podcast episode or something like that.
Today we're talking about the BBEG WXL PF Plus.
SPF 420.
SPF 420. Andrew, what does that? What does BBEG mean?
It's a classic term standing for Big Bad Evil Guy.
Big bad
evil.
Is that like a new thing, or has it always been like
called
BBEG?
That's kind of. It's not like the canon term. Like you're not going to be able to look up BBEG in the Dungeon Master's Guide. But if I was explaining to Teresa like how the BBEG for Strahd was like Strahd. And I'm like, well, if you don't know what that means, it stands for Big Bad. She's like, I know what it is. I've played online RPGs, Andrew. So,
oh, there you go. See?
Yeah.
But it's funny because I never actually like came across that term until D&D, really, which is weird.
I think it's because that's where it's most applicable. Because like a lot of like the online RPG stuffs are like World of Warcraft and MMOs, where it's like you will have probably like a set villain. But then, like, once the expansion comes out, it's an even bigger guy or some crap like that, or, so, like, whereas D&D, it's like, this is the villain. When this guy dies, like, credits will start rolling, probably,
right.
Like, as you're wrapping things up, like, they'll start playing the music, and like, all right, you gotta...
all right, get out. The show's over, they start flickering the light.
There's no post-credit scene.
Get out, the next show is coming.
That's like when we saw Logan in theaters. Like as soon as the credits came on, someone came out. It's like there's no post credit scene. Leave.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love the ones that like because I usually look it up before the movie's over.
Right.
And I try to be nice. I'm like, I just say it to Kristen out loud. I'm like, there's no post credit scenes. Let's go. So people kind of like understand that they have to go. But some of them just like stay there and wait. And I'm like, bro. Like,
or they clap.
You don't. Oh yeah, clappers are the worst. Anyways, but that's not what those are the BBEGs of the real world. Clappers.
The people that clap at movies. Shut up! They can't hear you in Hollywood.
People who clap in movie theaters and people who clap when the airplane lands.
We're literally on the other.
Clappers are the worst.
No. That reminded me of a tweet where this guy was like, I'm an airline pilot and I make my passengers chant the words skybird so that way we can get off the ground. Or it was something like that. I'll have to look it up because
that sounds amazing.
God. Hold on, I have to look it up because man, it cracks me up every time. Okay, yeah, no, it says I think my favorite part of every flight is during takeoff when the pilot screams, "Bend to my will, metal skybird, and take us to the big blueness," and all the passengers chant, "Skybird, skybird, to convince the plane to take off."
That's awesome. Hey, for what I heard, if you're an orc in Warhammer 40K, that's exactly how it works.
That's how it works.
There you go.
Yeah, there are purple orcs, and they're best at stealth. And why is that? Have you ever seen a purple orc?
Yes.
You just gotta believe.
Oh man. So yes. So Andrew, in your opinion, what makes the not the perfect, but like the most
effective,
optimal, and effective BBEG.
I think what makes a really effective BBEG is that it's one where even once the party has reached like the max level of whatever the campaign is, and like still has like their magic items and stuff like that, the BBEG or villain should still be a threat. Like even with all the stuff geared up and ready to go, it should still be like, okay, let's not underestimate this guy, you know?
Right.
And I think a good way to really, like, let's see, like a good way to kind of show that is usually to like have either the villain themselves show up early or have some example of what their like machinations are, you know, kind of introduce themselves pretty early on.
So it's not always behind. Yeah, because I think one of the most like terrifying parts in Curse of Strahd was when we were at the church and then Strahd showed up with homeboy, what's his name?
Rahadin.
Whatever. Yeah, with Rahadin, and we're like, you know, 'cause we were there. We were just like asking the priest a question, and then everything just fucking breaks. And at first it's just Rahadin. I'm like, oh shit, we're trying to fight, and then the door opens and it's just fucking like Strahd just standing there watching everything happen, not even like flinching. And then he like pulls up a chair and just sits there as everything is like catching on fire and people are going down.
Yeah.
And Rahadin is just doing everything. That was so like, what's the word? Ominous?
Ominous.
Just like ominous, just like there. Like, yeah, you guys are not challenged. You're trash.
Yeah, he's sitting in a burning church and he's just like reading a book while in the background it's like
you got the heroes flinging through windows trying to rescue the girl, whatever her name was.
Irina. Wow. We only finished that campaign like 3 weeks ago. We're like, okay, whatever the fuck her name is.
Listen, she was gone for like 70% of the campaign.
That's true. Well, I mean,
even towards the end, like evil Besame was just like, yeah, okay, hi.
Yeah, hey, what's up? That's honestly the one big thing I really did not like about that campaign was that it's like she is meant to be kidnapped, and that's about it.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Like she's just like the carrot on a string. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
There's like no characterization for her. So Her stats were poor. Like in the beginning,
but she looks so cool. Like her artwork, she had like the sword and the breastplate, and
yeah. In the beginning, she probably could have held her own like against like one of the ghouls or something like that. But like, but like her stats, because it's like the noble stats or something in the Monsters Handbook, so she has like 12 HP. So
that's concerning.
Yeah, so in that final fight, if she was actually targeted, she like just like a sideways glance from one of the guys you were fighting probably could have killed her. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
She didn't even use her fucking cloak of diamonds or whatever.
No one said anything.
We told her just rip over the patches off and like let mayhem break loose.
There was a lot of things that like going over. I'm like, man, I wish I did this instead of that. Like at the final fight for Curse of Strahd, but it's all water under the bridge. So
is Curse of Strahd your first BBEG that you run?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, yes and no. I mean,
you're confusing our listeners here, man. You have to explain yourself.
It's the first big bad evil guy that I ran to completion. It's not my first big bad evil guy though. Yeah, I mean, because like the first one I came up with was like a homebrew thing for an adventure.
Oh, yeah, the Sky Diamond, whatever the hell that was.
I wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah, sure.
Because dude, okay. A little bit of backstory here.
The Sky Shard.
The Sky Shard. Andrew was like working on he's working on like homebrews all the time. But like he's like, I'm gonna run this, like it's gonna happen, let's do this. I'm like, yeah, man. And like I think it was Andrew, Alex, Howard. Who else was there? Jeremy was there. Me.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it.
No, Urvashi was there too.
Urvashi was there too. And we played one session of it, and the session was so epic and so memorable that all up to this point, people are still ask about
When's the second one coming out?
When is the second session coming out?
Well, I mean, the reason why that kind of dissolved was because at the time I didn't know about Roll20, and I didn't have a computer, and I did not have a job that was really conducive to help me like write and stuff like that, and so it just kind of fell apart. I mean, I might be able to pick it up. I don't know if anybody's willing to play in a campaign where the first session was 2 years ago, but maybe.
I still remember it was like a spaceship or something with a baby inside, and then the bad evil guy shows up, kick our asses, and then just like kidnap the baby, pisses everybody off, and just like walks away.
Well, no, he convinces you that the baby is safer in your hands, or in his hands. And you're like, okay, sure. And you give him the baby. And
that's right.
And then literally everything blows up after that.
Yeah. So at that point we didn't know that he was like the evil guy.
Yeah. So yeah.
So okay, but which one were you thinking about if it wasn't that one?
Oh, there was another one I had where his name was Mathis the Vile, and it was an adventure that I was running just for Teresa to kind of get her up to speed on like 5e and stuff because she wanted to learn. And what it was that, like every little beat along the adventure, like he would be involved in this, and like he would have like dip his fingers and like this kind of thing and whatnot. And along the way, you were supposed to find out that he's trying to become a lich. Like he's a human wizard. He's like a level 20 wizard or some shit like that. But he's like trying to become a lich, and it's like. You know, you can try to stop him, or if you're not good enough, like it happens, and that's the final fight, kind of a deal. But yeah. So yeah, that was pretty much. I mean, it was a super basic, like
What level was Teresa though?
1.
And there was a level 20 wizard. How long were you expecting this adventure to go through?
Oh, I mean, what it was, the idea of it was that because it was a solo adventure and they didn't have the sidekick rules, what it was is that like for every episode, quote unquote, every session, she would have a sidekick character that would be like, oh, hey, I just happened to be here, kind of a thing. Like the first session was the town it started in, and her sidekick was a dwarf cleric because it was his daughter that got kidnapped. So yeah, he's gonna help out, stuff like that. And that's when they find out the whole plot. Or that's when like the big bad evil guy introduces himself. And then in the second session, like they're venturing out and stuff like that. Teresa and the dwarf, and they come across a village that's like overran with zombies, and there's a paladin there, and he's like trying to figure out what's going on. So then he'll join in, and he'll be there for that one session. Then the next session, which was where things kind of petered off, was she was supposed to go to a city, which was like a city like full of scholars and stuff like that, to try to figure out what exactly this guy's deal is. And they would have found out that like the Grand Library, like there was a tome stolen from that, and the guy that was investigating it, which was a rogue, he would be the sidekick for that adventure, kind of a it's
like an episodic type thing.
Yeah, an episodic sort of thing. And then what I wanted to do was like at the final battle, like whoever like she liked the most or something like that would like join in, be like, hey, we're here, kind of a thing. So that way, so it's like a full party kind of deal. But like I said, she kind of lost interest in it, so whatever. It just sort of petered off.
That's fine. I mean, it's kind of hard to play like a one-off. I mean, not a one-off.
A one-on-one. Yeah.
A one-on-one. Yeah. Unless you're really invested into it.
Yeah, I mean,
unless Matt Mercer is DMing for you.
It's really difficult to do a one-on-one. It feels awkward too, doing a one-on-one thing, like there's something much more comfortable about having like a group of people instead of just one person. Anyways, we're getting off topic. Let's get back to the villains.
My main question here is Strahd. Tell us what made him the bad guy, because I feel like online, every time somebody mentions D&D or like best monster, best bad guys, or like best settings or whatever, Curtis Strahd comes up, and everybody's always like, there's always a mention of how good of a bad guy he is, what makes him a bad guy, what you enjoyed about running him, and tell us about the final fight.
Okay. So I think what makes Strahd a really effective bad guy was that from the very first session, you're in his domain. Like it is something. It's kind of implied in the book that, there is that forbiddance thing for a vampire where, they can't be allowed in unless they invite him in, but it's his kingdom. So he can go wherever the hell he pleases. Like, literally all the doors are open to him. But I think another thing that makes him like probably the most standout villain is that he is there. He's present. And he will like actively mess with the players and stuff like that. And I actually felt like I underutilized Strahd because he was supposed to kind of show up after every like major event. Like for instance, if you guys had gone to the windmill early, like when you were supposed to, he would have been there to kind of like not like fight you guys, but sort of like taunt you and be like, oh, congratulations, you killed a bunch of old ladies, kind of a thing. There were some story beats where he had to be there, like the church fight. That was him, like he had to be there. But other than that, it says in the adventure, like, just throw him in there whenever you feel like it, just like kind of make his appearance random. And it didn't play off like that. And I wish it did, but there was a moment where I wanted the wine delivery to be a chase scene where you guys were running away and Strahd was chasing you with the horse, just like lobbing spells and shit like that. But
I just imagine like the little rear view mirror that says objects in the mirror
are closer than they see. And you turn back and Strahd's like right there.
Yeah. Wait, he's a vampire. How can you say?
Yeah, wait a minute. Well, the horse would have showed up.
You see his clothing. You don't see.
Yeah. It's the headless horseman. But no, like he's supposed to show up, and there's a random encounter table for Castle Ravenloft that I didn't get to land on anything except for the cocoon that was filled with snakes.
Yeah, I remember you kept rolling, and you were like, "Oh, fine, of course I did."
I'm just over here, just. All right. Anyways, but one of the things was Strahd shows up. He's just there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You just open a random door and just like,
yeah, there's Strahd.
What would have happened there? Would that been like the fight?
That would have been it. He just shows up.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's it. And it's really neat because in the adventure, it's like anybody that has a passive perception under. Like, it's like a stupid high number. Like, passive perception 22 is surprised by this because he just shows up. Like, flash of lightning, boom, there's Strahd.
Jeez.
Yeah, and he's just there.
That would be fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
I just imagine, like, we're opening doors like in the crypt in the beginning that we were trying to open every single door. He just like, one of them like, nope, and just close it back.
He's standing right behind me, isn't he?
Yeah. That would have been great.
But I mean,
you would have died.
But the real risk that comes involved with that is that when you have a villain that's that involved, like there is a very real possibility you can kill him early. So
yeah, I guess so.
I mean, well, if I'm pretty sure if he had showed up when you guys left the Amber Temple, you probably could have taken him like right then and there, So
would he have been able to use his lair actions there?
No, because he's not in his lair. His lair would be Castle Ray. Now, see, that is the thing.
He probably would have like run away, wouldn't he?
Yeah, there's always
he's smart. He's a smart boy.
That was another thing I was going to bring up. When you have a villain that's supposed to be more like in your face, they do have escape plans. Like they have something that's like, okay, this is time to bug out, and for him. It was his horse, because his horse could jump into the ethereal plane. So it was really just like, just teleport away kind of a thing.
You know who also can jump into the ethereal plane?
Vesemir.
Yeah.
Well,
he would have hung on to the horse.
The horse was actually a lot faster than you guys could fly. I think it was something.
Oh, really?
It was something like ridiculous. It was like 120 like flying speed or some shit
Jesus.
like that. Yeah, it was a fast fucking horse.
And I killed it.
Yeah, and like a turn. So, but I mean,
we surprised him.
But I mean, you can tell they had like an escape plan for that, and it's something that's like it also describes like if you kill a vampire, they turn to like that red mist, and then they like go to their crypt or something like that. But it also I don't know if it explicitly says it in the book, but it's something that's like, you know, Strahd always has a backup plan, kind of implying that he has like crypts like hidden throughout Barovia in case something like that happens. So yeah, you just gotta,
because that's something that now that you mentioned that, that's something that Vesemir notices, that when we were talking to one of the people that we killed, I forgot their name, the guy who dressed him up, whatever. He mentioned that like some adventurers killed him, and then he just like came back strolling into the castle.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this: did we actually kill him?
Don't
do that to me, Andrew. Damn it!
I was actually going to include a more like ominous, like kind of ending, but I didn't want to like be like overbearing and dramatic kind of deal. But
right.
But it does imply that he comes back. So it's like it's something that's like, after a certain amount of time, he comes back. So, like, he's never actually...
Vesemir would have opened every single door in Barovia, and he would have destroyed every single crypt that he would find.
Well, let
me ask another thing, though. When he turned into a mist and went into his crypt,
mm-hmm.
in the middle, the ladies that showed up, they were the wives of him?
Yeah. Yeah, they were Strahd's brides.
Brides?
Yeah.
And they were... I don't know. I guess it seemed a little weird that like they'd want to protect him, but I assume that at some point he was actually like a charming guy, like not like a magical charming guy, but like a
right. Well, it's well, I mean, first of all, they were vampire spawn, so any vampire spawn is going to be kind of following whatever the vampire wants to do. But no, it never explicitly says that he was charming. He's always kind of been like cold and like calculating kind of a thing. So really him turning into a vampire was like less of a characteristic thing and more of a biological change. So
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. But I mean, that is Strahd's like the perfect example of like the in your face, like constantly there, constant presence sort of a thing. But what about the behind the scenes villain? Like I think Asarak.
The Azerarak.
Yeah, the ass crack would be like the best example of that, wouldn't it?
Fuck you guys. I'll be changing the names of my bad guys. He was. Okay.
Please don't tell me the bad guy of Avernus is like Captain Dick and Balls or something like that.
No. Changes the name real quick.
Captain Cock and Balls. They can't make fun of that.
Well, I think Tomb of Annihilation was a little different because the Azerarak was behind the scenes, but truthfully, he was behind the scenes only at the Tomb of the Nine Gods.
Well, yeah, but okay, so I think this kind of touches on a pretty key point for a villain, and that's their motivation.
Right. Like,
what are they motivated by or to do? And so Asarak's motivation was to what? Just stop life?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, he just wanted everybody to die. He was immoral. You guys didn't kill him.
Well, yeah, he's a lich. You can't. Yeah,
yeah.
You told us straight up you didn't get his phylactery. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Well, it would have been pretty cool because his phylactery was actually, some of them were in the tomb, the ones that you guys saw, but some of them were in like different planes of existence.
Oh, so he has more than one. So he
he has a shit ton. Like, you guys did not.
He has one in a lead box at the bottom of the ocean in the plane of water.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you know, he's full on Voldemort when it comes to this kind of stuff. But I think, and this is something that I don't know if I talked to you guys about it, but like one of the main baddies outside of like, not outside. But like one of the main baddies that you guys were supposed to be looking forward to was actually the Yuanti dude. Man, I forgot his name.
Oh,
you remember that? Were you there for the fight?
Yeah. I wasn't there for the actual fight, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh God, what was that guy's name? It was like nothing but like Z's and Y's.
Yeah,
it was like Zizix or some crap like that.
Oh, I gotta look it up.
You want the guy, Tomb of Annihilation.
You want the guy, Tomb of Annihilation.
You want to.
No, he was.
I'm looking it up. I bet you I can get it before you can.
I bet that you're a nerd.
No. No, come on. No, that's not it. Raznies.
Raznisny.
Raznisny.
Yes.
RAS space NSI. Raznisny.
And I can make
Raznisny.
Raznisny. Yeah. What I can barely remember the motivations of that dude. But essentially what it was is that he was once human and then he went into like the whole like night serpent thing. And he was trying to take control of all of the Yuan-Ti, something along those lines.
Okay.
But he was pretty hurt. He was supposed to be not hunting you guys, but like stumble upon you guys as you guys were traveling the forest, jungle. Excuse me. As you were traveling the jungle, and you guys were supposed to encounter him a couple times, and he was gonna fuck with you guys. But it was all based on random encounters.
See,
There was never like a part. Okay, there was a couple of parts where like, oh, if the characters go here, then he's blah 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 blah. But you guys never went to those areas because they were actually pretty far out of the way.
Oh, that's when you just quantum ogre it.
I know. I should have done that. But I didn't.
Lessons you learn from DMing, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, you guys went to the Yuan-Ti temple and you guys like did kick his ass, and took a very powerful sword and everything else with him. But he was supposed to be like a secondary bad guy,
right?
But the real baddie was the Acererak,
right?
And he was seeing everything you guys were doing in the tomb, because I mean he built it. That's why he built it, so you can like mess with you guys,
right? Yeah.
But again, he was even with that, he was always he was like behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, I mean like he wasn't even. It's weird because like he wasn't. His fight wasn't even the final fight. Like his fight was like the weird victory lap that we get,
right?
Because like our actual final fight was against that weird fetus thing. What's called the Stromboli.
Shut up! Why do you keep changing his name?
But then we fight that thing, and then the gods like imbue their power upon us, and we get like max radiant damage for all of our hits and stuff like that. So the fight with Acererak wasn't even like an actual fight. It was just like an end credits like bonus thing.
Yeah, it was like the fight that happens as a credits roll.
Exactly.
To keep people engaged.
And the theme song's playing in the background, and it's like, oh,
his main thing was that his tool was the actual dungeon. Like he wanted to kill you guys, and like you guys kind of learned his story throughout as you kept going down the dungeon. But that was pretty much it. Like, really, like you said, like there was a victory lap, the actual fight with the Acererak.
Right.
So I don't really know why he was in the cover, but I get it because it was his dungeon. You know?
Well, I mean, it was all part of his doing and his plan. Like the whatever the final monster thing, that was not what was what kicked off the whole event. I mean, and that kind of
Soulmonger.
Oh yeah, was that what it's called? It was called the Soul. Where did we get Stromboli?
They called it as Soulmonger was the name of the tool. Remember it was like a cylinder,
right?
But the name of the actual creature was actually, oh man, dude.
I know I'm kicking up a lot of dust with this probably. So, but I mean, I think what the reason why I wanted to bring up Acererak was because that kind of shows the diametric opposites of villains, where you have one that's constantly there, like he is present, and and then you have one that's like the villain where the whole adventure you're trying to find out who that villain is,
right?
And like you might hear whispers about it, kind of a thing.
Which is also how kind of like Waterdeep went.
Yeah,
he was behind the scenes.
Yep, and
he was dressed up as Lady Silverhand. He showed up a couple different times disguised and guided you guys through like the way. Like he was using you guys to get his treasure. But then we don't talk about that adventure.
Well, no, actually, that kind of that kind of touched on something I wanted to talk about, where the villain is going to be based on the theme or the feel of the story, where it's like where I felt like Tomb of Annihilation was a very classic kind of heroes go out, save the day, journey into the
because it was pretty much straight up like, hey, there's a death curse. Mm-hmm. We're hiring you guys to save the world. It's not like, oh, the heroes, they did the thing they were originally hired to, but then
something came along
and it led to like saving the world.
Yeah.
This one was straight up like, hey, listen, we already, I don't know if I told you guys this, but like supposedly they sent a bunch of different adventure parties already, and none of them returned.
And they all died.
By the way, the name of the creature is Anatropal.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
The name of the creature is Anatropal, but what he was named, the actual name is the Soulmonger.
Where the fuck did we get Stromboli from?
I think I mispronounced it at one point or something.
Oh, okay.
And you guys were like, Stromboli, and then somebody fucking made a pizza place out of it. Fuck you guys.
Okay, so I think, all right, so Acererak and I think
Acererak.
Is it a Acererak?
Yeah, you want to say Acererak because like the two letters repeat, but it's actually Acererak.
Oh, okay, Acererak then. All right, so then Acererak is a pretty classic villain, behind the scenes, sort of like you fight his goons more than you'll fight him, and that's because Tomb of Annihilation is a very classic adventure. Like the adventurers are sent out to literally save the world, and it's like this big superhero event kind of a thing. But whereas Curse of Strahd is supposed to be more like horror and like spooky, scary. So yeah, it would be. It's like the D&D equivalent of having like Michael Myers show up, just like like behind the door kind of a thing. So yeah, it's supposed to be like, oh shit, like this, and by that same token, with Dragon Heist, the whole point was that it was a mystery. We have to investigate and figure out who was behind all this crap, and so like I said, the villain's motivations are going to be more tailored to what the, I guess, genre, for lack of a better term, of the story is. So,
yeah, and like for Avernus, the bad guy is definitely this one dude, and then when he does this, you guys are gonna
no, don't do that to me. But I think what's really interesting is the idea that if ran effectively, you can honestly open any page in the monster manual and boom, that could be your big bad evil guy. I mean, you can have like an ooze be a big bad evil guy if you really wanted to. It all depends on the scope of the story,
Right.
I mean,
and it's also it's a couple of things that like I think the most crucial thing for a bad evil guy is that the players need to not necessarily know, but have the presence of it.
Right.
You know what? Does that make sense?
Either
like they need to feel it. There's something out there. There's like a thing.
Either have some sort of presence or knowledge, or see the like after effects of like for example, if the big bad evil guy is like an orc war chief, maybe the adventurers come across a town that's just been raided and like the embers still haven't gone out, kind of a thing. So very much like in the style of Mulan, so that way you're like, okay, now we kind of have more motivation, because like if we don't stop this guy, he's just gonna like tear through the countryside.
You can't keep it completely in the dark until the last minute, because then your players will just be like, what are we doing here again?
Right. I mean, there is, that all kind of boils down to how well the hook is, and that's a topic for another episode, because I do want to talk about hooks and how they might not work.
Yeah,
I have read of a really heartbreaking thing called the no hook adventure, and that's going to be for that episode.
Yeah, which will be after the maps episode,
which will be sometime after Neverary. Actually, no. Yeah. I think we should do the map episode soon, because I feel like we have a good discussion going in there.
Every time we start talking about it, we're like, wait, save it for the episode, and then we never
shut up, and we never do the episode.
Yeah, yes, bad evil guys. I mean, they're very necessary in every adventure, obviously.
They are, but
You're wrong. They are.
well, no. I think it all depends on the tone of the story you're going for, or whatever the primary objective of the story is. Because I mean, there have been some adventures I've heard of. I haven't ran, but there have been some adventures I've heard of where the objective is something like you have to reach a certain location before this time, and the big bad evil guy is not someone that's out to stop you, but he just happens to be in the way, or something like that. So I mean, I think it is interesting when you have an adventure where the main villain is not the cause of the adventure. Does that make sense? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I can see kind of like Storm King's Thunder. Because there were a couple of bad big evil guys there, and they were just taking advantage of the fact that the ordering was broken.
Yeah.
Oh, this big thing happened, so we're just gonna take advantage of that.
Right.
And you have to stop those. Yeah.
I mean, but I would actually be very curious to see an adventure that doesn't have a big bad evil guy, where it's or maybe the main villain or antagonist is more of a concept and less of an actual thing with stats kind of a thing.
Right.
It's a natural disaster. I
was thinking about that. A meteor is coming and you see it and you have to do something about it.
Or a Pompeii sort of situation where there's lava right fucking down the road. We need to get these people out.
Wouldn't those be just kind of well, yeah. But would that make an interesting story though?
Yeah, it would. I mean,
from Pompeii.
It all depends on how. And naturally, it all depends on how you tell it. I mean, if it's oh, there's lava down the road, but if you describe it oh, the bubbling magna pours through the windows, incinerating the households, and oh god, shit.
But excuse me, there's plenty of ways of running a bad.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that sometimes the villain doesn't even have to have a stat stat blocks. It could just be a thing, a force of nature, or an event or something like that. However, 9 times out of 10, you're going to want to make it something the players can hit.
Yeah.
The only reason why I'm saying that is because it's
know your group, essentially, or
I mean, I don't think our group would really appreciate an adventure that was essentially Dante's Peak. But
I think they would.
It all depends.
Hey, we played Call of Cthulhu, and there wasn't really
That's right. The bad guy was the ritual.
Was the ritual and the house falling on you guys.
Yeah, that's true, and that was really climactic. So you might have something there. That what.
I didn't think you guys weren't going to enjoy it so much, but you guys did, and it shows that our group is very versatile.
I actually told Teresa you missed out because shit was popping off. I died twice.
That was dude. I'm so glad.
In 20 minutes, I died twice.
I'm so fucking glad that I made those extra characters, man.
I'm really glad you did too.
That would have been so awkward. It's oh, sorry, Alex, you died in the first 5 minutes.
Just kick him from the game. All right, bye.
Yeah.
See you next week. But
oh man.
But I think what's really cool about let's say you're making a villain for a story. It all depends on the scope of the story. Because if you want a level 1 villain, it could be something that's like a bandit or something like that, or if it's a level 20, you can obviously make a dragon or some big kind of thing. But if you want a little help making your own villain, the Dungeon Master's Guide actually has tables to help you out. Yeah, if you look on page.
Shows you how much I'd read the Dungeon Master.
I mean, to be fair, for 5e, the Dungeon Master's Guide is not really that applicable if you're running just published adventures. It's more of it is very much tailored towards you are a new DM. This is if you want to make your own stuff kind of a thing. But yeah, no, there is a table on page 94 just for their schemes on what their motivations are kind of a thing. And then the next page is literally all just the methods of how they carry it out. So yeah, so it's something that's like you roll a d8 for the schemes, and then you roll a d4 after that, because it'd be like 1 is immortality, 2 is influence, 3 is magic, and then you have to roll something like so say you roll 7, which is revenge, and then you have to roll a d4 and you get a 3, which is they have to avenge the death of a loved one. Okay, so they have to avenge.
Strahd.
Yeah. Well,
oh wait, no, that's not Strahd.
Kinda. I mean, from his point of view, it is. So then the next table over, you roll a d20 and you get a 15. All right, which is religion, and then you roll a d4 to see how they do that, and you roll a 4, and it's heresies or cults. So you have to somehow connect the dots as to make cults or heresy able to make him bring back or avenge the death of a loved one. And so it's just kind of like a neat little, you got a to-go box floating next to you. Anyways, it's just a neat little like thought process on how to like get one started.
It's a good creative exercise.
Oh yeah, it's definitely definitely a good creative exercise. I mean, and there are some other options, like in page 74, like how to introduce a villain and what the climax of the villain's fight will be, kind of a thing. So I mean, there are ways to kind of cook up your own if you want to.
Oh,
so,
I'm too lazy for that.
I know you are.
Wow, you're not supposed to agree with that.
Mr. I have no time. Oh, by the way, while we were waiting for Avernus, here's his welcome package.
Dude, the only reason why there's a welcome package is because you guys decided not to play. So I guess it's a reward for that.
That, believe me, it is a lot harder to keep writing for a campaign than I thought it would be. Because I was like, okay, we'll do the Sky Shirt thing. And 2 weeks from now, I'll have the next session. And 2 fucking years later, I'm like, I got nothing, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I'd say you just improvise the whole thing.
At that point, I might as well just have just random tables. Okay, you can find this.
Remember, we don't know anything, dude. As far as we know, you planned the whole thing.
My notes are 1, roll for table, 2, ? 3, profit.
And that's, ladies and gentlemen, is how you make a BBEG.
Yep. Kind of.
A bacon,
egg grilled cheese
sandwich.
Actually, that sounds pretty good.
Oh man. Yeah. Anything else you want to add to the BBEG conversation?
Well, is there anything I do want to add to the BBEG conversation? I think it would be pretty interesting to have a BBEG that is not powerful, but he's just really rich and he has a lot of resources.
Influences.
Yeah.
Oh man. I love those stories. And then when you finally get to him and you get to like smack him in the face, you feel that satisfaction.
And like, yes, we're gonna beat up the bad guy. He's actually like some frail old guy that has like an IV bag.
No. I'm imagining like what's his name from freaking Gravity Falls, the little fat rich kid.
Oh, I know the one with the southern accent.
Yeah, that. Like he's just really rich. So
his name's like Gilroy or some shit like that.
Yeah, he's like really rich and he has like all the armies and things, and you fight through all of that, and you like, yes, I'm gonna get to this guy, and he taunts you. He shows up early in the adventure, and you see him, and he's tiny, and you know that you can beat him, but you can't touch him because he has like these massive bodyguards, but he just makes fun of you because you're poor type situation. And then at the very end, you get to it, and all it takes is just one hit.
Yep. Because
he's like the most satisfying thing ever.
Because he has a D4 hit dice with negative constitution
and an AC of 9. He's fat.
But no, I bet that would be pretty interesting. Where like the final fight is not against him; it's against like his head bodyguard or and naturally that would be like the warlord NPC that has like 18 armor and 180 hit points or some crap like that. And
then once you're done, the bad guys is like hiding behind the throne. Or whatever.
It's like, please don't kill me.
I'll pay you anything you want.
Yeah, I'll give you anything you want. I want my father back, you son of a bitch. Yeah, so
that'll be a nice adventure.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, like you can have anybody if you run it right, go away, McAfee. If you run it right, you can have anybody be a BBEG. You know, it just all depends on how you want to spin it and how big you want the story to be, or small. So you know,
Sure.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
So we were off for 2 weeks.
Almost 3. I feel like it's been 3.
Well, 1 week was Call of Cthulhu. Trust me, I know.
Oh, okay.
And then we had 2 weeks without a D&D. And in the D&D world, something happened.
Okay, hold on, real quick. I just have to be pedantic here because what's it? We wrapped up Curse of Strahd, and then like next week we were playing Call of Cthulhu. And Teresa's like, I thought you said you were taking a break from D&D. I'm like, it's not D&D, woman.
It's a different thing.
It's different. I mean, granted, yes, it runs on the D20 system, but it's not D&D. I don't have time to explain this to you.
Hey, she listened in on the first one. I hope she had fun on that one.
Oh, yeah, she did. So,
anyways, but there was some pretty big news actually pretty recently.
Yeah.
We got a new book announcement.
Oh, okay. So this isn't like an adventure or like a supplement. Like, oh, here's a new setting. No, this is rules, classes, subclasses.
Fuck that Magic the Gathering setting bullshit. We got like an actual Farum, Forgotten Realms.
Fuck off, Ravnica. No one likes you. Theros, you're cool, but you're walking on thin ice, buddy.
Pretty much. We got Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
Yeah, this ain't the Adventurer's Guide to Wildebeest. What was that one called? The Adventurer's Guide
Explorers,
to
Wayfinders, Explorer, Eberron Guide.
No, Wildemount? What the fuck was it called? Who cares?
I think it was Wildemount. Anyways, this is Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
Tasha, also famous for her hideous laughter spell that gets everybody.
Yep. And also, what I learned that is she was raised by Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga. Yeah, John Wick, apparently.
Yeah, John Wick raised this bitch.
Is she the dog from John?
Yeah, she's the dog.
She just learned true polymorph.
That's a dog. That's impressive.
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga. Yeah, and so for what I understand, actually, fun fact here, and don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it's my memory is not killing me here, but Tasha was actually one of the very first legit like PCs that play with Gary Gygax.
No shit.
Yeah, like all these wizards, Motherkind, all these guys were PCs at one point.
You're kidding me.
Yes. No, I'm not kidding. I mean, I said like yes. Like, and
yes, I am kidding. You fell for it. You rube.
You idiot.
You fell for a classic blunder.
Yeah, and like they, since of course they're like the first ones that play with Gary Gygax, of course they became legendary.
Yeah,
and slowly but surely the names like creeped into this world. That's why you have all these like amazing wizard spells called after amazing wizards.
Oh yeah, okay, so like Mordekainen's Sanctum,
Mordekainen, Tasha, all these guys.
Otto's what's it? I was gonna say Otto's Unbreakable Dance. I'm like, wait, what? Otto's Irresistible Dance, and then there's like Otto Luke's like Unbreakable.
I just imagine every time that spell comes up is Terry Crews dancing.
So, have you seen the special edition cover of this?
Bro, it's gorgeous.
Oh my god.
I am getting that.
I think what's really neat about the artwork is that it's unlike any of the other artwork I've seen.
It's very different.
I think it kind of, because it looks very, it actually looks pretty witchy in of itself, which fits because Tasha is like a stereotypical witch, like has the conical hat and everything like that.
Right.
But so apparently I have here a list of things to expect from Tasha's book of everything.
Cauldron of Everything.
Yeah, Tasha's melting pot of fondue.
I mean, even the normal cover, it's pretty bomb.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. But still, the special edition is really awesome.
Tell us what's in this book.
Okay, so it's gonna have 4 chapters, and
Hold on, I gotta sneeze.
Please Please hold for a dramatic effect. Think of a pineapple.
It's gone. What?
If you're holding onto a sneeze like that and you think of a pineapple, it makes you sneeze. If you think of a cucumber,
Really?
you don't sneeze. There's some sort of
Really?
weird, like, yeah, that's what I've heard.
I'm gonna give it a try. My thing is they look straight at a source of light,
Uh-huh.
and it makes me sneeze. Anyways, so tell us what's in the book, Andrew.
Okay, so there's going to be at least one new subclass for all 13 classes.
Woo!
Yep, all 13. That's including the Artificer. There's 22 new subclasses in total. 5 reprinted subclasses from other books. That's so it's like, you know, Xanathars or Eberron. All the new subclasses were previously Unearthed Arcana. So yeah, so the ones that were being tested, this is
the official release of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And then there's going to be a alternate class features for every class, like variants kind of a thing. And then on top of that, naturally they're going to include the Artificer in this. This is going to be like, because this is a new rule book. There's things just for the Artificer. There's going to be new infusions for the Artificer, and then you get more armor specializations and stuff like that. I mean, there's a and they're finally going to release psionics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for the wizards.
And Howard is gonna fucking flip.
Yeah. So, and there's going to be new spellbook options for wizards and stuff like that,
and magic tattoos.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's gonna be a real. What I'm hoping it's going to be is a real big, essentially, Player's Handbook 2 kind of a thing, you know?
Yeah. Also, sidekicks, supernatural environments, natural hazards, and parlaying with monsters.
Oh yeah, the parlaying with monsters, that seems interesting. I wonder what they mean by that.
Me too. I hope it's a better guide for DMs to roleplay certain situations.
Yeah.
But then after that, there's also apparently it's gonna be like a section on just running session 0.
Yeah, for like how to, like,
which is cool.
For like how to convey, well, I guess whatever the adventure's going to be. And when they talked about there's going to be new magic items, obviously, they said that they're not just +1/+2 weapons. Like they're every magic item is going to have a mechanic or, you know, or some sort of flavor to it. One of the things is that they're going to have the Taroka deck from Curse of Strahd as one of the magic items.
I wonder how that's going to play out.
Apparently it's used to trap spirits. That's what. Oh, yeah. That's it. That's all. That's all it says on it. Other than that, I have no idea. So, yeah. I mean, they're obviously they're being pretty like hush hush on this, but you know, it is what it is. And they're also going to include the sidekick rules from the Essentials kit. They're going to include this in here as well. So
sweet. So it'll be official. I love when they do that. I love when like they put things in like they move them from like very niche books to like actual books. You know what I mean? So you don't have to buy like an extra book. And there's there's a whole from what I'm reading here, because it's like this is just like sort of like unconfirmed leaks and whatnot. Supposedly there's supposed to be a sidekick class for someone that's brand new to D&D, and so that way they kind of give a more streamlined like experience kind of a thing. So yeah, so I don't know how useful that would be. Because usually like level 1, I mean, if I have a new player, level 1 is fairly easy, and for the most part they want to stick around.
You would think so. However, if you're someone that's not very good at teaching, well, no, I mean,
sorry Armando, if you're listening to me, but I want to be your your first DM.
Well, I mean the thing is that we tried the beginner's guide or whatever the fuck it's called, the beginner set, starter set,
the starter kit or the essentials kit,
the starters kit. Yeah, you were there for that. We you know we did the starter set, And I was really bad at trying to convey like what this meant on the sheet and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if it was just like nerves or the fact that I like had a lot of caffeine beforehand or something like that. But I was just like,
or the fact that Teresa was trying to get you drunk.
Well, that was the second session. But no, but like I was doing a poor job of learning, and I think that kind of pushed away one of the players. Because man. I think so. I mean, he's kind of like a quiet guy to begin with, but I think with the sidekick class, if that is the intention, I think that would be a very handy. Like,
I would assume he has an option to like upgrade it from a sidekick to like a full-on character. Right?
I'm pretty sure there is. I mean, because it says there's only 3 classes. There's warrior, expert, and spellcaster, which seems like strength, dex, intelligence kind of. So like the very, very boiled down kind of, and this would be perfect for, I don't want to sound like misogynistic or something like that, but the girlfriend effect kind of thing. Gasp. Canceled. We're canceled.
Damn it, Andrew, we didn't even make it.
No, don't.
But no, I know exactly what you're talking about. Though.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what it's called. I feel like that's kind of misconstrued, but yeah, the quote unquote girlfriend effect, where it's like, like your significant other doesn't know this thing, but they want to join in. So you just, they
want to be a good girlfriend or boyfriend,
right?
And like join in and like support you in your endeavors.
Yeah, and so you just hand them these stats, which can be like on like a postcard kind of a thing, like, hey, here you go, here's what you can do, blah blah blah. That way it's not overwhelming and it doesn't like, okay, this is too much. Right. So I see that as a good thing.
That's pretty interesting. I dig that.
Yeah, I dig it too. Or maybe it's just someone that just wants to like kick in for an adventure but doesn't want to make a character. You just, okay, yeah, here you go, you're a spellcaster, you're, I don't know, some plucky young kid that won't leave me alone. So
but yeah, and then we have another announcement. I don't think we talked about it last time either, which was the new Curse of Strahd.
We didn't talk about that.
No, we did not.
I saw that and I immediately cursed.
I think it was like the day after we recorded, wasn't it? That I texted you. It's like, look at this.
It was the day after we recorded, and it was the week before the finale, and I cursed Wizard of the Coast's name. Like I shouted it into the skies and stuff.
So they're releasing Curse of Strahd revamped.
Revamped. All right, we're done.
Which is it has the full adventure, which comes in a beautiful coffin-shaped box, which I think looks amazing.
The only problem
is
the book is paperback. That's the only problem.
Yeah, that's the only thing. But like the presentation is awesome. You open it, it has like the Taroka deck design all over it. And you open it, you lift the top of it, and then you see right in front of you the adventure, which like Andrew said, it is paperback, but it's fine. They actually said that the reason why they did it is because it's easier to flip through, and they actually split the adventure with the monsters. So like the appendixes where like everything else is at.
Oh, that's a separate thing.
It's a separate thing.
Oh,
this is just
that's handy. Okay.
Why? Because as you go, you have the adventure with you. You're running it, whatever. Something shows up. Everything else is in loose paper. So you just pull whatever the hell is that you're running, or whatever letter it is, or whatever creature you're trying to show.
That's okay.
And it's all like easier to add things like that. And it comes with a full map, double-sided, obviously.
Well, the book came with that too.
Right. Oh, really? You didn't tear it out, did you?
Yes.
You asshole!
I was gonna frame it.
I'm waiting to get my own place so I can like frame my maps. But yeah, and it comes with a DM screen, which looks amazing. They went with like this. It's a different style of art, but it looks really beautiful. And then it has a Taroka deck, which is cool as hell.
Right.
You don't have to buy it separately. And then it has postcards.
That was the part. That was the part where I was like, "Damn it,
curse you!" Yeah, and it's gonna be $100, which is fine, I guess.
Well, I mean, so if we're going off MSRP, the book alone is $50, and then the Taroka deck I think was like $15 or $20. And then the DM screen was probably about the same price.
Yeah.
But then you're getting all this other stuff. So, I mean, 100, I could see 100, you're probably breaking even. If not, you're probably saving, Right. So it to me, $100 is fine.
And the Taraka deck is foil stamped.
God damn it.
So each one of them is foil stamped. That's really nice. And there's 12 postcards, 3 copies of each with 4 different designs. And the designs of the postcards are on the DM screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty neat. It's going to be $100. I'm probably going to get it because it's one of the adventures that I don't have, and I think this is a really nice thing to just have and display type situation. Because I'm not going to buy the normal book because I'm not going to run it,
Well, and never say never. I mean, it could be like many, many years from now. You don't have, you have people that never.
I'm reading through the adventures like Andrew's a fucking asshole. He did everything wrong.
Wait a minute, that didn't happen.
What we were supposed to win here. What a dick!
Wait a minute, Straw doesn't have flying speed. What the fuck?
Straw was supposed to die in the beginning. What the hell? Oh man, yeah. Anyways, it comes out on October 20th. And 3 days before my birthday.
and don't forget, this is going to be the rewrite of Strahd,
that's very important too.
Where they have the
Vistani stuff and the elves and all that stuff has been modified.
Oh, did they change the elves too?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't see why. I didn't feel like there's anything that was like really like. The only thing that was offensive about the elves was supposed to be like they all got slaughtered because of Rahadin. Like that was,
and then he's the bad guy. So
So I'm like, oh, okay. Here's just more motivation. But I mean, like the Vistani thing, I get because that does come off as insensitive. So yeah.
So yeah, that's coming out, and then we have the Tasha's Book of Hideous Laughter.
Tasha's Hideous Cauldron of Laughter.
Cauldron of Book. Tasha's Cauldron of Book of Everything is coming out November 17th. Just in time for the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And Icewind Dale September 15th. That's like 2 weeks from now. Oh man, I'm getting that.
No, you ain't. No, you fucking ain't.
I'm not gonna read it. I just want the
why? Why would you?
Because I want the special cover.
Oh my god!
By the time you run it, by the time we're done with it, it's gonna be sold out everywhere. It's just gonna be displayed, man. Don't worry. I'm not gonna read it.
Just get a really high JPEG of the special cover. Yeah,
we're like really shitty double-sided tape.
Just put it on like a textbook or something. I mean,
oh man.
I'll probably like get that like for Christmas or something like that because I imagine like there's really no rush right now because we're going to be getting into Avernus next week.
Yes. Avernus is far in your store. It's 3 days away, guys. 3 days away. By the time this comes out, it is the day of. So tonight at 6:30 p.m. Avernus on Twitch.tv/A Talk of Opportunity. Join us tonight.
And use the promo code A Talk of Opportunity for 4 hymns. Now you can save on erectile dysfunction. Not really.
But yeah, we're going to start descending into Avernus. I have been itching. I have been going crazy. I've slept. I don't mess with my sleep schedule. But I've been reading the book back and forth. I've been going insane because you guys decided to take 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Yeah, you told me like, are you sure it has to be a 2-week break? And I'm like, yes, dude, I'm burnt. I'm burnt out, man. Like, do you want me to enjoy Avernus? Then I need this.
No, but I'm glad we took the 2 break.
Well, yeah, because the anticipation's built up. People are saying they're super hyped for it.
Yep.
And there's a reason why people are super hyped for it. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you know how excited I was for Avernus. I made 8 actually made 8 fucking characters for this game, and I ran them all by you. I'm like, would this work for this game? And it's like a scale of like, to, oh my god, this is like perfect for this game kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So,
oh my god. And like even, okay, so you kind of paused for a little bit making new characters.
well, that's because I was focusing on the final fight in Strahd.
Right. But then like this past like week, you've been like nonstop messaging me. It's like, does this work? Does this work? And then like I help you build this whole background, really awesome story, and you're like, you know, I think I'm gonna change my mind. I want to try this one. I'm like, damn it, Andrew.
You know what? That's cool. I think I want to play Barbarian.
Like, what the hell?
I have been really like flipping back and forth, and that's why I went on the group chat like, nope, I'm playing a rogue. You know, I'm like, man, that's it. I'm done. No more characters.
But what you guys don't know is that he keeps changing his backstory
That's not true.
Constantly.
That's not fucking true.
Okay.
I changed one thing about my backstory.
A million things nonstop.
I asked for your input, good sir. Okay, I didn't change anything. I asked for approval.
I have the text.
I'll put the logs on Twitter. Look at what I have. Look at what I have to deal with. I don't know if I want to go with this background or not.
Do you think his hair should be white or?
I mean, it says it's metallic, and white's not a metallic color. So, just God damn it, Andrew, I don't fucking care. Just pick something.
I'm not gonna lie, but like the whole time I was texting you in the back of my head, I'm like, this shit isn't even gonna matter.
It's
like
not gonna This is legitimately me. Every time I play like Dark Souls or Bloodborne or something, I spend like a good 30 minutes making the guy's face. And Teresa, I restarted playing Bloodborne like a couple weeks back because I play it like once a year, and I was making the guy's face and stuff like that. And Teresa finally broke down and she's like, "It's not gonna matter. You're gonna put on armor and you can't see his face. It doesn't fucking matter what he looks like." I don't like it's important to me. I know what he looks like.
But it's, you know, it's satisfaction. You know, it's a good thing.
Exactly. Well, I mean, because I don't want him to be just like, okay, here he is. You know, just like a bunch of stats.
You care about it, and then he's gonna die in the first game.
Probably. That would be so bad if I put so much work and he gets like fucking nuked like session 1. Just like, oh man, Baldur's Gate, and then like some guy walks up to him and blows his brains out. He just bleeds out in the first session.
It's like, here's your barbarian goblin. That's what you're playing.
I don't want to play a barbarian. They got a -1 to strength. Well, you should have thought about that. Maybe you should have made con your dump stat.
No, but yeah, no, dude, I've been going fucking insane. I've read the book.
Well, you've been very productive with your time, apparently.
Well, this all started because I think you mentioned, it's like, why don't you just make like a postcard, a poster or something like that for the group.
Okay, because you were saying like, oh, I want to make like invitations kind of a thing.
Right.
And there was a joke, like there was like a bit of a joke that we had where Baldur's Gate is a shithole. So we were like, why don't you make like a travel brochure where it's like,
that's what it was.
Like, come to Baldur's Gate. We have a dead guy, something like that, and a Waffle House, like kind of crap.
Yeah. I told you, I was like, well, maybe I'll make a postcard because a brochure is kind of like a lot of work. Mm-hmm. And it started with
a postcard.
Right.
That's what it started with.
We started with a postcard, and I think that same night I just designed the whole thing. I found the seals of the city. I looked up what it was, the history behind it, all that stuff. Yeah. And then I made a postcard with like the 1940s, like classic postcard, like typography that says, greetings from Baldur's Gate.
The city of blood. I'm like, okay. And it's funny because it shows like Baldur's Gate and it looks like crap. It looks like shit. There's like smog coming off of the ground.
The background is the background from Baldur's Gate 3, the game.
Okay.
The image that they keep showing. It's actually in the book too. They used it. So I put that there. And then I went on this hunt with like all the art out there possible for Avernus. And if you guys, whoever's listening to this and has the postcard, if you look at each one of those letters, it's like a little sneak peek to the rest of the adventure.
Yeah,
so like a lot of that is like key art for certain parts. No spoilers. There's like a bunch more art, but it's like certain parts where you you guys are gonna like travel to and see and all that kind of stuff. So I made that.
I noticed there's like a film grain on the actual postcard too.
Yeah, it's a film grain.
Because I saw that, I was like, I'm trying to like get it.
No. Yeah, it's like dirty and gross. And then on the other side is like the parchment texture, and it has. If you look at the year, that's the year the adventure is taking place on.
1494.
1494. So it's like Baldur's Gate 1494. It has the seal of the city, and then like the little like mailing stuff that usually has.
The one thing I noticed is that this place looks like the medieval equivalent of like 1980s New York. I'm like I would fucking die the moment I walked in this place.
But the text is so bubbly and happy.
It's just like the second you walk in, like someone is pickpocketing you, and then another person's coming up and stabbing you, and that's it.
Yeah. And so I got that. I designed it, did the whole thing, and then I printed it with mood.com, which by the way, their paper is amazing.
Yes. I love the feel of this paper.
The stock paper they have is fucking amazing. That's why.
Oh my god.
That's why I went with it.
He got it embossed.
No, I wish. I almost got it for stamp, but it was a little too expensive for the budget.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, hey Andrew, can you help me write something? Because I don't know how to write for shit. Like I can do a decent job, but nothing like that sounds sort of professional.
Right.
So I was like, Andrew, can you help me? So I kind of like, I lift the curtain a little bit to tell him a couple of things about Baldur's Gate in the beginning, really just the beginning of the adventure.
Yeah, there was like no spoilers on my end.
Yeah. So I tell him like, hey, can you like write this? And he writes me a couple of drafts.
This is probably all stuff we're going to go over in session 0, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine, yeah. So
yeah, he writes me a couple of drafts, and then we come out to one.
Okay, so here's what happened on my end. You sent me that text literally before my 15-minute break. And it was like as I was going to the break room, you're like, hey, I need you to write something for me. I'm like, okay, just open up docs on my phone, just immediately crack one out. You're like, how about this? Like, okay, no, it needs to look like this. Okay, well, how about this? Blah, blah, blah. No, it seems a little too official. Okay, well, how about this? Blah, blah, blah. And it was like within 15 minutes.
Which, it was great. And then my original idea was, because I designed it with a parchment type texture behind it, like the graphic itself. Mm-hmm. No. That doesn't have the texture on it.
Oh,
you know? No. So I did all that, and I was going to get it printed at work or whatever and just regular white paper. But then I was on Amazon, and I'm like, wait, I remember I was going to do invitations before, and I found this paper. So I ordered the paper, which came with
like parchment paper? Quote
yeah,
unquote? It's
not parchment paper, but it's not printed on the paper. It's like dyed.
Okay.
Which is that paper that you have.
Right.
And it comes with the letters and everything.
That
and I'm
paper was probably really expensive.
It wasn't. Actually, that's the surprising part. It was not expensive.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
No. I have a shit ton for more invitations for later on.
I'm tripping over all this fucking parchment paper.
And then I was like, you know what really goes really nicely with this? Wax seals.
Wax seal. I saw. Okay. Hold on. I have to tell you my experience of this package. Okay. So you were like, Andrew, make sure to check the mail Monday because it's going to be coming in. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then you're like, wait, holy shit. UPS says they're going to deliver it today. So I'm like, I'm like super excited for it and stuff like that. And then you're like, Heather and Alex got theirs. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then that
was at 9 a.m, by the way.
Yeah,
they got it super fast.
And then you're like, well, Howard got his. And I'm like, it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm like, I still haven't got mine. And I'm like sitting by the door practically waiting for it. And then I'm like, okay, fine. I'm just going to go in my room and play some video games, stuff like that. And I sit down, start playing video games. I hear the doorbell. And Teresa, because she checked on the little Ring app. And she's like, your package is here. And I'm just like, just like immediately go grab it. And I'm like, it's here.
Oh my god, I'm so happy that you were anticipating it so much.
Teresa's like, all right, calm down. Oh man. But yeah, dude, I was geeking out super hard. I love the wax seal. That's an awesome touch.
At first I was gonna I was looking for a skull so bad. I'm like, man, I'd really like a skull, like the skull. Mm-hmm. But they only had like the cheesy ones that are like pirate skulls and stuff. Not cheesy, but not in the theme of Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been appropriate.
Yeah, so then I'm like, oh, maybe I should use like my initials, whatever. But I'm like, fuck it, this is coming from Captain Zaj. So I got a Z stamp. Like I tried to find like the most official, less girly looking one, like something that like will be like, you know, like an actual.
This shit has filigree on it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is nice.
Yeah, dude. And I legit spent a good 3 hours looking for the right set, you know.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The wax color, because I was like, should I go with black? But black is too just dark. This red has like a glitter in it. I was gonna go with like regular, like a maroon type, like really dark, deep red. But then that one was just like, oh, this is really nice. And that one doesn't break. It's flexible, so it doesn't crack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got that one. Anyways, and then it arrived.
I was very careful to open it. I was like, I don't want to break the wax seal. So I was just like, like barely peeling it up and stuff like that. So
and then I was like, the paper arrived, the wax seal arrived, stuff like that. And then I had to go to work to take some pictures. And let me go print it, see how it looks like, you know. I removed the fake texture from the file and then just printed it once. And I was like, this is fucking perfect. Because if you print a texture on paper, you know it's printed on the paper.
Right.
But this paper is like dyed. Either that or it's really well printed because it goes all the way to the edge too.
Yeah, you can feel there's like something on the actual surface of the paper. Like it doesn't have like that kind of weird grainy feel that paper has. It has like a slight glossiness to it.
Yep. And the cool thing is that when I first printed it, it was like super stark. Like it was like the ink was really, really like saturated, right? And then I brought it in and I folded it. I folded all the letters, and I even looked up how to properly fold a letter. That way, when you pull it out and you open it, it opens like it's greeting you. It's not looking away from you. All that bullshit.
Okay.
And then when I started folding them, I realized that the ink started to like flake a little bit, and I'm like, this is a happy accident. So if you look at the text, if it has like some bits of ink kind of like flaking off, or like it's not like 100%, that was not a mistake of the printer. That is actually after it folded, like some of the ink got like crackled a little bit.
Oh no, my ink is actually
pretty good.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I do see it. Okay.
It's very slight. You wouldn't notice it. You would think it will be the style of the font, but it's not.
Huh.
You know? Yeah. Anyway, so I had a blast doing that, and I put the wax seal on it, and it looks so perfect. This was like 2 weeks ago, by the way. So these letters were just sitting there staring at me this whole time. I'm like, fuck.
And you were like, please, can I at least tell you a little bit about what I'm going to send out? I'm like, no, Jose, shut the fuck up. And do not ruin this.
And then Andrew would have fucking talked to me about it. I'm like, damn it, I need to tell somebody.
Yeah. And like every time you bring it up, I just change the conversation or something like that.
Yeah. And then like Kristen was actually pretty excited about that. But then one day I'm like, I was rewatching one of the old sessions, and I noticed that Heather takes a lot of notes, like physical notes. Even though I set up a freaking Trello so she can type in there all the information, she takes a lot of physical notes. And I'm like, you know, field notes are really nice, like simple. You can carry around and fold note-taking notebooks. You know, let me look it up. Turns out they have a special edition 5E 64 pages character journal.
When I saw that, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, it's a beautiful red, and I bought 3 packages because it comes in packets of 2. I kept one for me too. I was like, I gotta keep one.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, and do you want to tell them a little bit of what's inside?
Yeah. So the first page, it just has stuff like, oh, this belongs to such and such. You can find them at blah blah blah. And it's like, in the event of misplacement, there is or isn't a handsome reward waiting for the return of this. I put isn't because I don't have money. But then like the very first page, it goes over like what size categories are, what object armor classes are, which I was like, that's extremely useful, because I remember there was a good couple sessions where I kept flipping through the DMG trying to find out the armor classes of objects, what exhaustion is and how it affects you, the area of effects of spells. And then the first, let's see, the first page,
paper page, right?
Yeah, the first paper page.
This is inside the
right
cover.
Yeah, this is inside the cover. But then the first paper page is like your character's name, class, background, a sketch if you can draw. I can't. And then like the next couple pages, like race, detail, like bonds and stuff like that. And it's like it's all like background stuff for your character. And then they have tables. for like what level you are, what proficiency you'll have, and what features you get. And then after that, then it's the stats. And then you have like attacks and what level of exhaustion you're on, or what your death saves are, your passive perception, passive insight, passive investigation, that kind of thing. So yeah, and then there's inspiration, and so I mean it's essentially like a notebook version of the character sheet for the first couple pages.
You look at the back page?
Yeah. Oh well, I haven't gotten to that yet. But then you have a spellcasting table, your favorite and frequently used spells.
Yeah.
And that's a good couple pages. Your proficiencies and skills, what money is, and conversions for money, which is handy. The debts you've owed and the debts you've paid. And then there's a whole bunch of treasures asking if you've been attuned to it. And then downtime activities, and then notes for every level. So levels 1 through 20, there's notes.
Which I thought was really neat.
Mm-hmm. And it asks if you have any experience points or milestones, how many hit points you've gained, and how many you have total. And then there's a GM sign-off, which I imagine that's probably more for like a tabletop thing. And then after that, it's all like miscellaneous stuff, like allies, factions, campaign quotes and notes, which is probably what we're going to be using it for mostly. I know I'm going to be using it for mostly. I like the fact that they included a behind the scenes and thoughts and theories section on how you think the story's going to go.
I'm really hope that everybody actually writes in all these sections so we can like compare notes at the end.
Oh, I know for a fact I'm going to be using this because
I was so wrong. Oh my god!
Because there have been a ton of times where I'm like, I need to write this down, and I forget, and I'm like, what was that guy's name? What was the Yuanti's name that we had to fight? So, but then the very very back, I like how it has like practical applications, like cantrip regrets. But then it has like the alignment table, like how combat works. For some reason, it has a ruler.
They're all the field notes have rulers.
Okay, but yeah, then there's like ability score modifiers and what this number means and what the modifier will mean for it and that kind of stuff. So it's pretty much just a boiled down like a helpful like thing for players and stuff like that. So that way they can keep their focus on the game and not, hey, what does this mean, kind of a deal. Yeah. So
yeah, no, I saw it. I'm like, this is fucking perfect, and I bought one for each. And I know that we play a lot, and not a lot, but we play digital now. But like, there's something so different about just taking down physical notes. It actually, like, for me, it ingrains it in my brain as I write it down.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why Heather does it too, because there's something different because like I have typed notes down for Curse of Strahd and then almost immediately forgot about them. So I mean, yeah, there's something about writing notes that makes it a lot like it just puts it in your head better. So I really like these applications.
Yeah. Good. That's not all.
Good NPC advice ignored.
But that's not all. Then I was like, you know what? Don't want to get into spoilers. But there's 2 items that I got 3D printed for you guys. One of them, you probably know what it is already, but it's the badge of the Flaming Fist. Which my friend printed for me. Really nice. He was really nice about it. He charged me very cheaply. And then I painted them. I bought the paint.
Turns out he got charged double or something like that.
No. Because the other one, the one that has a skull on it, I can't say the name of it because it's kind of like a spoiler.
Well, I know what it is.
No, you don't know what it is.
Okay, I don't know what it is.
It's I got it from Etsy. This guy, really cool. I ordered them actually pretty early, and the guy was like, it was gonna take about 6 days to produce, all that stuff, blah blah blah. And on the 6th day, he messaged me. He's like, "Hey, USPS fucked up my my order of resin. So I can't get this printed for you right now. I'm gonna try to get it to you out by Monday." This was this last Monday.
Oof.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh shit. So I told him, it's like, hey man, like it has to be here before the 2nd, so I can like at least get it to you guys after session 0.
Right.
Right. But he was really cool about it, and he like upgraded my shipping, and he sent it through FedEx, I think it was, and it arrived here Thursday.
Wow.
And I put the whole package together. I sealed it, and as soon as I was out of work, I fucking went to UPS and shipped it. That was Friday. Because for the badge, I primed those, I painted those, and then I put protecting coat on top of it too.
So is that why it's like kind of sticky?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I shipped them on Friday, and I was like, okay, so they're probably gonna get them Monday, right? And then I checked the tracking number, and it was like, no, I didn't check the tracking number. I woke up, and the first thing I see is Heather texting me. She was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you didn't send this? And I'm like, oh, you got it? And then I checked the text, the tracking numbers, and yes, they were all arriving on Saturday. So UPS is fucking fast.
Oh yeah.
This is something I've been wanting to do for such a long time, but something always fucking came up. Either didn't have money or just got hit financially somehow, or didn't have the time. You know, I wanted to do this really badly for Waterdeep.
Mm-hmm.
At least the invitation, because I even had like the stamps and everything like that I wanted to buy for it and everything. I never got a chance. Same for Storm King's Thunder and Tomb of Annihilation. I always wanted to do something special for you guys because I see them online, not all the time, but some DMs do that. And I'm like, I want to do this. They're gonna fucking love it. I know they will. And then I sent them, and I was so fucking nervous because I'm like, oh my God, what if they break? What if like something happens? The paint gets stuck or whatever.
The one I'm always really jealous about is the one where it's like, oh, we, like to kick off our first session, we made a whole bunch of food that's like based off of the stuff in the adventure. And I'm like, God damn it.
that's kind of how we did it too when we were here physically, but people move and stuff.
Yeah. Life happens.
Yeah. But yeah, and seeing you guys' reaction in like the text, I gave it to Howard and he was like fucking glowing. He was flipping because he came to visit. They moved into a new apartment and we gave him like a gift for the apartment or whatever. Mm-hmm. He opened it and he was so excited. And then I kept hearing that you guys were so super hyped. And I'm like, yes, this is the exact reaction I wanted.
I can't wait to let you guys down.
I know. I told everybody, I was like, yep, this is as good as it gets, guys.
Yep, it peaks here, guys.
This all downhill from here. Yeah, no, it's I'm so glad you guys really enjoyed it because I was fucking sweating.
Now I'm gonna have to come up with something for like Rime of the Frost Maiden, where I'm
that's what Heather says. Like, oh man, now I gotta do something for Saltmarsh, and I'm like, Heather, don't worry about it. I was just lucky because this adventure actually has props.
Heather, here's what you do: give us a treasure map and make us find the invitation Goonie style.
Just include an eye patch.
Yeah,
and a wooden leg,
or. Like something pirate themed.
But yeah.
What I'm going to do for Rime of the Frost Maiden is that I'm going to send you guys coordinates, and in those coordinates, somewhere buried underground is going to be a thumb drive that has the like address to where you can get the invitation for Roll20.
Not like an actual invitation, it's just a link.
Just a link to the invitation.
Oh man, but yeah, it was a blast to put together. I was so excited. You can ask Kristen, man. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to send these.
My first thought was like, oh well, now I have to come up with something.
You don't have to come up with anything.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
But the one that I told Andrew, because we have a new player with this new campaign, like a brand new player. He's never played D&D before.
Ever.
And I told Andrew, I was like, man, this guy's gonna be spoiled if he actually likes D&D after this.
Yep. because now it's gonna be like, all right, we're gonna kick off our new campaign. When's it gonna be? I don't know, sometime next week. We'll figure it out. That's it. No invitation, no grandiose, no show and dances. All right.
Yeah, but yeah, I've been working on everything. I changed some of the branding stuff for Attack of Opportunity. I got a new stream
intro song
again loop. Andrew helped me pick that intro song. I just made and organized the social post for each stream. I can actually have like a system.
You asked me like, hey Andrew, I need some tracks. I need some like metal stuff that reminds me of hell. I'm like, oh, my time has arrived.
I've been training for this moment my whole life.
I still have like a playlist of songs if you need it.
No, I needed one for Fiverr. I know, but with that one we can actually put it everywhere we want to.
That's true.
We don't have to worry about like copyright infringement.
Yeah, there's that. I don't want to get sued by some like little band from Norway.
Yeah.
I can't even pronounce this.
But yeah, that's what's going on in my world right now. I'm taking a lot of notes for session 0. I got myself a field notes pitch black edition for my DM notes.
Yeah, you showed me that, and I had some questions. I'm like, why does it have a list of characters from one Ray Bradbury book? Like, I don't understand.
It has like a pitch black, like fighting insomnia.
Yeah. I actually, the one I really like, where it's like, make sure you keep your sleeping place just a little chilly. And I'm like, yes.
Some notes.
And by just a little chilly, I mean really fucking cold. Like, you ain't meat in there.
I don't want to feel my fingers.
Yeah, that always happens. I always wake up and like my hands are like burning from cold. You know what I'm talking about?
That's not crazy. Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, if you guys tune up tonight, because that's when this episode's coming out, we will be running sessions 0.
I can't wait. It's going to be a live session 0. We're going to talk about our characters.
Yes.
And we're going to make our characters.
Yes.
Like actually make our characters, not just a backstory.
Yeah. I told everybody, it's like, just think of like a concept. Don't start making your characters. Every time you guys make your characters outside of Session 0, and then in Session 0, like the DM approves it and stuff like that.
Well, I'll
not this time.
I'll be honest with you. That's the only thing I don't like about virtual tabletopping is making your character. Just because if you're doing it, like inputting it through Roll20, it's a bit of a hassle. If you're using D&D Beyond, you kind of have to buy the other subclasses, kind of a thing. That's the only thing where I'm like, okay, paper to pencil, here's my character sheet, kind of a deal. But the Character Mancer, we've tried that out. It is super handy.
Yeah, it makes it very easy.
Yeah.
It limits you. It limits you to whatever compendium you have, which is fine. That's why I'm not allowing like homebrewing stuff.
But still, I mean, with Roll20, you can't. It's really difficult to implement that stuff to begin with, like the homebrew stuff. So, yeah, I mean, you have like all the rule books that have currently come out. So
yeah, I have the PHP, Sanathar, Volos, Eberron, and obviously the Monster Manual on the. That's it.
Right, but I'm talking about like on the player side, we have.
You should have all of it.
Yeah, the whole breadth of character options. So yeah, we're totally good on that end.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what you guys do. I'm excited to talk to you guys about the adventure, actually talking to you about it, not just be like, oh, this is an evil city, but like actually tell you what's going down.
The one thing I felt was really exciting was that you told me that certain people were like, I'm going to get out of my comfort zone for this adventure.
Yes.
And try something new. And I'm like,
that
yes!
made me happy.
Yes, I was.
Even you said that. You were like, you know what? I'm gonna get out of like. That's why you picked the rogue, because that's not usually what you play.
Yeah, I told you specifically I wanted to play a class I've never touched before.
Yeah.
And the rogue was one of them. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to play a rogue. I've never played a rogue before.
I'm excited because I had a blast getting out of my comfort zone last campaign. And I can't wait for you guys to like really step out of your comfort zone. And if there's ever a setting campaign to be a little bit crazier than usual, it would be this one.
This one. Okay. Yeah. Because I was gonna fall back on the strength-based paladin thing. But I'm like, no. Hold on. Yeah. You know what?
Play something different. Be a little freaky. It's gonna pay off. I promise.
Yeah. Hey, a little weird is good.
A little weird is good. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I just like what they said. Let's get out of our comfort zone. Let's do something crazy.
Yes,
so
I'm excited. But yes. That's I think that's all the time we have for you guys today. Unless you have anything else you want to talk about, Andrew.
No, that's it.
Okay, great.
I'm also really excited to introduce the new guy to the group.
Yes, Armando.
Hey, Armando. Hey, he probably doesn't listen to us. Why
he doesn't care about us. To tell you a little bit about him, he is a creative writer, graduated in film, I believe. So he's actually been interested in Dungeons and Dragons and like the whole creative aspect of it.
Fantastic.
He's just never been introduced to it or even like attempted to like get into it. You know what I mean? So it's up to us to kind of like teach him. He doesn't know anything. When I mean anything, he doesn't know anything. He might know like the basic stuff of like, wizards and spells and whatever.
So it's like, hey, here's your first adventure. Right into hell.
Right into hell. Yes. But I'm excited. He seems to be excited. I'm excited. I don't know. if he may stick through the whole thing. I hope he does.
Oh, I really hope he does.
Yeah, I mean, having a 4-player party, it's fine with me because you guys are awesome. But I think he just needs that little like, hey, look how fun this is. Because sadly, I told him about our stream, and he joined on the last episode. And if you remember, the first half of that episode, Aaron's computer was messing up. So
right.
it was from my end, it was complete silence.
Oh, no.
For a lot of it, yeah. And it's kind of hard to tell somebody to like, hey, go watch our 3-hour-long episode when we're not live, you know, if you don't care about this kind of stuff. Or us, specifically. So yeah, he's like, oh yeah, it was kind of fun, but you know, a lot of it was very quiet because you guys. I'm like, damn it! Out of all the episodes,
I mean, that's more technical issues.
Yeah.
The thing, the first taste is always free. You'll get hooked after that. So
I'm excited. I think he'll like it. I really think he will. He just moved into Orlando from Miami, so he's gonna be close by to me, and I'm gonna indoctrinate him.
I mean, I mean, if he's a creative writer, I think this is gonna be like right up his alley.
I hope so too. Yeah, and he seems to be needing a creative outlet as well.
Because this is not that. The really neat thing about this is that you create the story from a bunch of different sources, and it kind of happens organically. So it's like it's a really neat thing from like a writing process sort of way.
He told me he's a little afraid of stepping out of his bubble, I guess you could say, like role playing somebody else type situation.
Oh, that's always.
And I told him, it's like, dude.
Everybody's like that.
Everybody's like that. Yeah. Once you get comfortable with the group, you'll be fine.
You just gotta. You just haven't used those muscles yet. That's the only. Everybody is like that. So. Yep.
And but I told him, I was like, don't worry about character. Just think of a concept, you know, and then we'll help you create it. We'll help you through the whole process.
I mean, the easiest.
I was having a hard time explaining to him like class versus race because he thought that like you picked the race and that dictated your class, which kind of makes sense because like to outsiders of D&D, you know, like elves are magic or bow and arrow. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
so he has no idea. Like this is completely like free for all.
Well, I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, there are like a lot of classes like, you know, a high elf would be a better wizard, you know, kind of a thing. So.
But you're not locked into that. Anyways, we have a new character. I mean, a new player. He's gonna be. I hope he has a blast. I'm counting on you guys to. I think
when he sees like the weird wackadoo characters that we're gonna come up with,
he's gonna be like, oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna be counting on you guys to help me guide him because I'm gonna have a lot on my plate anyway.
I hope we get like a fucking like a gnome barbarian or some shit.
I wanna see some wacky ass creation, guys.
That's the reason why I went with the changeling. Because I'm like, I was originally just gonna go with half elf. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just
exactly. Give me that weird thing, and like Heather's gonna play a Warforged artificer.
Oh, give
me that weird. If any, like I said, if there's ever a setting or adventure to be weird and freaky, is this one. I'm telling you.
and I'm like, how can I make a background for my character that totally goes against the class?
Yes. So I'm excited. You guys join us Wednesday? Or tonight if you're listening on Wednesday.
Tonight. Be there or be square.
Yeah. It's gonna be $50 admission fee. And then for you guys, not for the listeners.
Yeah.
I told you about that, right, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm gonna send the link. I'm gonna put the link from my Venmo account onto the stream.
No, $50 to me. I want to charge for this shit.
Yeah, I had to recoup my losses for the welcome package.
You open your welcome package and now you gotta pay me.
You signed a non-verbal contract when you that's included on the fine print of the letter. Like, shit.
It's like right at the bottom. Infernal contracts with devils. That's all I'm saying.
By breaking this seal, you have agreed to a contract to recoup the losses of funds. Like, shit, man.
Every time Kristen asks me how much it costs, I'm like, yeah. So it was less than that much.
How much was it, Jose?
As much as it was by half.
Oh man, yeah. So you have anything else to add?
Nope, that's it. I'm super excited for Wednesday. I'm like now like doing like the jonesing, like wringing my hands kind of a thing.
So. Dude, this next 2 days are gonna go by so fucking slow. I can already tell it.
I
know. But yes, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for joining us one more episode. We are back on track now. Everyone say Descend into Avernus on Twitch. Make sure you join us. It's going to be crazy, fantastic. These guys are going to die in the first session. I can't wait.
Maybe. Jose said there's a very high possibility someone will die.
There's a very high possibility of you guys dying.
I'm like, okay. Do what I couldn't.
Yes. Yeah. And make sure to follow us on all of our social medias. Instagram, Facebook is always the talk of opportunity. New episodes every other Wednesdays on the podcast and whatever you listen to your podcast. Make sure to leave us a rating, a review, some comments. Whose audio is better, mine or Andrew's?
It's going to be Jose's. Because I just now figured out how to record properly.
Just now. So 20 episodes ago. Oh, actually, the last 20 episodes is all mono.
I can't fucking believe it. There was one episode I'm like, dude, why do I sound like I'm underwater?
Now you know.
Yeah.
But yes, keep on adventure, keep on playing, keep on rolling high, and rolling dice high.
And the next, keep rolling. Wait, hold on. I forgot to mention I meant dice, not drugs. And the next time you'll hear us, I'll see you in hell.
In hell. Actually, no, we'll see you in Baldur's Gate, but that's pretty close.
I mean, it's like,
it's the hell of the material world.
When I die, I'm gonna go to heaven because I lived in Baldur's Gate. I already did my time.
Perfect. All right. Well, you guys have a good night. Thank you for joining us. And like I said, follow us on Instagram.
Wait, I just realized something.
Oh my God, Andrew.
If Baldur's Gate's going to go to hell, there's going to be people that's like, just like go about their business.
Oh, I never said that Baldur's Gate was going to go to hell.
Oh, okay.
I said that Baldur's Gate is hell.
Yeah. It's like, it's actually a bit of an improvement. I like this.
Yeah, the weather's actually kind of nice. All right, guys. You'll have a good night. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks or once.
We'll see you when we see you.
We'll see you when we see you. All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.